This is hour number 2 of Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. Thanks for sticking around with us. And if you're just tuning in, we are here live broadcasting from the Florida State Fairgrounds for Florida's largest home show.
Which admission today is free, by the way.
Admission
courtesy
is
of
free.
ABC Action News. Admission is free. So if people are coming later in the day for the Florida Georgia Line concert and it's hot outside, come over here to the expo hall. Come meet Katrina.
Get a free lemonade from our friend Chris at Lemonade Window
Yes,
Cleaning.
they're like around 800 or 900. We're in the 400 hall. Come
Right.
find us. Look for the bright purple carpet.
Look for the wizard guy.
And we're giving away some amazing stuff, by the way. I didn't even say this last hour, but we are giving away a Ring doorbell system. We are giving away a Hall Yeti cooler, the $400 one with the wheels. So we've got some awesome raffle prizes, and we got a really cool wheel you can spin for all kinds of little prizes. So
Nice.
The big ones are obviously a raffle, but
Can I still participate in the raffle?
and I did. You know what I didn't say? We are actually going to announce the winner next week on Tampa Home Talk.
Fantastic.
I forgot to mention that last hour. How did I forget? No notes. That's why.
Because there's so much going on you're excited about today.
No show notes to follow and keep me on track.
And Pat George walking around with donuts for the first 15 minutes was kind of
Yeah, that
distracting.
doesn't help anything.
Trying to find internet wire plugins.
No,
and
I've got
cords
internet
that work.
right here.
We do now, yes. But
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, the last hour we were talking all about how I kind of landed in radio because it found me. I
Right.
didn't really seek it. If somebody would have told me, 10 years ago, you'll be doing radio for a really long time and several hours a week, I would have said, what? No, I'm not. So when radio kind of found me, it was interesting because I said no. And then I ended up getting a little bit of training, which I think makes me fair, right? On air, I'm okay. Certainly would not stack up to some of you guys, but I think I can hold my own. And so this whole journey and adventure with radio started because there was so much negative in the news.
Right. And we all have to, and I'm guilty of that too. There are a lot of, I try to take, on the shows that I do, either a center of the road or a positive approach, or what can you do to make it better. But there's a reason that negative, remember the old saying, if it bleeds, it leads? Because it's attention grabbing. Good news is not attention grabbing. No one's going to tune in when you're hearing good news. At least that's the predominant thought.
Right.
So having that positive spin on like the real estate industry, the market, people that were paying their bills, and what you can do, because meanwhile, while everybody is in a dire situation, you're coming along with information that can help save them from that. So what you're doing is invaluable, and I'm glad you have a home here on Money Talk.
Me too. Thank you. And I love it here, actually. I started out on a different station in Tampa Bay, and I was there for a while. I followed a show that I didn't like very much, and I quickly caught on to how radio worked and, the logistics of
Right.
how things went down, and it wasn't a good feeling. And so, it's another smaller station for a couple years, and then when Dave Ramsey moved over to Money Talk, I moved right behind him because I aired on that station too. And it was really just a good match. And Beasley is an amazing place to call radio home for us.
Thank you.
We've always felt so welcome, and everybody's friendly. It's a really nice vibe. The signal's great. I mean, we have no complaints.
Right, and being on the same station with Dave Ramsey, who is all about being an everyday millionaire, and your home is a big part of that. That's a part of your net worth, and getting into that home and getting it paid off and living debt-free, and then following the steps to get there.
Which I'm an endorsed local provider, so we follow that path as well. And actually, Anthony O'Neill, Dave's office was emailing me. Anthony O'Neill's going to be coming on for his new book.
Fantastic.
Don't know the date yet, but at some point, I'm sure in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Good.
But going back to the story, we were talking about how I landed in radio and that whole thing. It's interesting because when things started crashing and burning, there was a lot of people that were like, should I pay my mortgage? Should I not? And then somebody like me that really has the inside secrets, right, if you will.
Right.
Like, I know how mortgages work. I came from that world. My loan, which I originated myself for the home that I'm in, was with Taylor Bean and Whitaker. And if you don't know what happened to them, they were actually raided by the feds, shut down, and essentially, like all of those notes, nobody could find them anywhere. And so we deal with some pretty complex stuff. Could I have retained an attorney to basically, I'll avoid all the legal terms, to basically say, go find my note, good luck, you won't find it. And people were hearing about the stories where, I'm going to get a free house or get a free mortgage, right?
Right, yeah.
They were either playing the insurance lottery, what we were telling that, or the go find my note lottery.
Right.
And so, with that being said, I'm like, I'm just not going to play that game. Like, my home is my stability for my family. And so I know some people that took that route, and they basically said, well, I'm going to pay an attorney to, dispute this or claim to find the note, and it never works out the way you think it's going to.
Right, and by the way, that's one of those things that Dave Ramsey talks about. You have a moral debt.
Yes.
You know, you may be able to get away with something legally, but that's not necessarily the moral or ethical thing to do.
Right.
Who are you as a person at the end of the day?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said for that, for sure.
Absolutely.
And I mean, aside from that, the people that even thought they could get away with it, many of them didn't, because some of them now, have played this game for so long that they're now renting somewhere, which the prices, by the way, the rent price at that time might have been $900 or $1,000. I mean, your average rent in Tampa Bay is $1,200 or more.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not cheap, or more. Yeah, if you live in the hillside like you do, it's a lot more. I'm talking about an average. You live even on the outskirts, you can probably find something for $1,200. It's nothing fancy.
I looked at stuff in Brandon just to kind of see what it would be, and even out there, it's $1,500-$1,600 if you want to live in something that wasn't built in the 70s.
One of the questions I actually just got from a customer this week that moved here from the Nashville area, they were asking about rent controls. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but in cities like LA, they actually put a cap.
Yeah, I'm only familiar with it and how they use it in sitcoms. That's
So
my familiarity with
Law and
control.
Order, how they use it in Law and Order.
Yeah.
They put a cap on how much you can charge for rent, and so once you're in there, and let's say some of these people, like for example, and I hear about it, right, because I've got real estate friends all over, so some of my real estate friends will say, oh yeah, because we don't have rent controls here, so I wasn't familiar with it, but they would say, yeah, this they've been paying like $800 or $900 a month, they've been there for 20 years, in this, beach little cottage, and there's only a very small amount they can increase the rent, which is really not fair to the homeowner either, because you got to think about this. If their taxes and everything else is going up, it's really not fair to the homeowner.
It isn't. But I guess, is that popular in those cities that are so large and dense in population? Is that why that happened?
It's not even a matter of population. It's part of the municipality ordinance, like it's a law. So if they can't have rent controls, they can only go.
But
up
I wondered
so
if that
much.
was part of the reason why they passed them as a law, was because of the sheer volume of people trying to get places and the competition.
They passed them because people ultimately could not afford to rent.
Right.
So there was nothing affordable to rent. If you didn't own, you were priced out of the market. And I feel like Tampa Bay is going to move that way as well. It's still a great time to own, and it's still affordable.
And I was talking with my friend last night. He's from San Francisco, and it's completely different market out there. I mean, a big selling feature Katrina can do is like, why pay $800 or $900 a month to rent when you can pay $600 to $700 a month to own? In San Francisco, it's the opposite. You pay $2,000, $3,000 to rent. If you were to try to buy something, your mortgage is like $8,000 or $9,000.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of people, I hear the stories in San Francisco, they come together and form a little co-op, and then you've got 10 people living in a house, It's almost like dorm situation.
They're priced out. And when you look at cities like Tampa and the amount of tech jobs that we're bringing here, I mean, there's a vast possibility between our amazing weather, maybe not so much this exact weekend, but for the most part, we have incredible weather. It's a fun place to live. There's always stuff to do, and we're still super affordable. Like, I just saw, Jenny Craig bought her home for like $3 million in the 80s, and she just sold it for like $22 million. Like a little north of San Diego.
Is she adopting, by the way?
So, it's a time value of money, right? So what you can buy today is not going to be the same 10 or 20 years from now. And I often get the question, Katrina, what would you do, like in 30 years worth of real estate experience, what would you do 30 years ago that you didn't do that you know today after having 30 years of experience? And honestly, what I would do is I'd buy a multifamily home. As well as my first purchase, a duplex, triplex, or quad. I would have occupied one of those units.
Right.
And every 2 years, I would move and leave a trail of rental property behind me.
Right, because when you get one being paid off by the people that live there, you're basically living rent-free, you're banking the money, you get ready to make your next purchase.
Well, plus, you're buying it as a primary residence, okay?
Right.
So from the lending standpoint, not only can you put a small down payment down because you're purchasing it as a primary residence, but your rates are better for primary.
I know somebody who was a substitute teacher. That was what he told people. What do you do? I'm a substitute teacher. How do you make a living on that? he's worth millions of dollars in real estate because he did exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He was buying duplexes, and he would live in one half and rent the other. And then he would buy another one. Now he's got 2 renters in the first house, and he gets the next one rolling.
One of my customers is a UPS driver, right? So nothing, good living, fair.
Yeah, they can
been there
make a
for
good
probably
living.
20
Benefits,
years.
Bo.
Yeah.
Now, in that he's done that every 2 years. He's tried to pick up a property of some sort, right? That makes sense. And I'll actually tell you about a little secret when you come back. That you can follow. That's really simple, even if you don't have all the logistics. But he would buy something that would make sense from a rental perspective, rent it out, and he tried to do that every 2 years. And so now his income that he has from rentals, and many of them are paid off, have surpassed his income from his job.
Absolutely.
And so, you can be a millionaire in 10 years. If you
are frugal and manage it
That's
right.
right. Live within your means, right?
Frugality is key.
All right, you're listening to Tampa Home Talk. We'll be back right after this break, and I'll tell you that little short, simple rule to follow if you're thinking about buying an investment property. We'll be back in just a minute.
Well, good morning. Welcome back. This is Leo Kane here at the Tampa Home Show on the Tampa Home Talk with the new Tampa Keller Williams Realtor.
Kind of rhymes, right?
Say Tampa one more time.
Yeah, you just stole my thunder, Mr. Tampa. Adam Talley, Tampa Insurance Provider.
Adam's
Kinda
mic is
like
hot.
All right, and our off-air number is 813-377-2775. You can call or text that number, by the way, 813-377-2775. If you want to connect with me or any of our guests, or you have a question, we're happy to help. Just text or call 813-377-2775. So experience shows, Schreiner, it could be a little more than 10 years, right, depending on what the value of that real estate is you're purchasing. But for sure, within 20 years, no matter what the value of that real estate is, if you just stay the course, you're going to be worth over $1 million.
Right, and I've watched that with a house that the first house I ever purchased, I purchased for 103. We sold it for 120.
Was that here in Tampa or somewhere
It
else?
was in St. Pete. Then market crashed. The people that had it after us ended up unloading it in a short sale. Somebody bought it for less than 85. And that was after so many improvements had been made, knocking down walls, expanding things, redoing the structure, adding in decks and pools and landscaping, and they got it for cheaper. And this was all within like a 10-year span. Watching this happen in that market, in that neighborhood, now that house is, the market, of course, has rebounded dramatically, and those people are so happy.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about this.
The house is worth twice what they paid for it.
Yeah, or more, I would say. Yeah, for sure. And, you look for those opportunities. When everybody else is selling, that's the time to buy.
Yeah, that's my next thing. Is like, I got to wait. Is there going to be another crash?
No.
I want to.
I get that question, I would say minimum 5 to 10 times a week.
Right, because this time I'm going to be ready. I'm going to have the money ready.
there's-
Everybody's ready.
Right? We learned our
But there's the
lesson.
difference between any other market compared to the one we had before. And if you want to read a book on this, there's a book by Naomi Prince called Collusion. It's did you read it? It's got a lot of. You did read that? Of course you read that book.
Did you read it, or did you skim
No,
through it in 5
you have
minutes?
to actually read it.
You have to read it.
Yeah,
It's technical.
It's an
Okay.
actual read. I read that book, and so
Science.
when you read that
Science.
book, it talks about literally how the stuff that started here in the United States, and I'll tell you exactly how it happened, and it's not theory, it's a fact. It bled into the global markets, which almost led to a global crash. Really, because, the whole thing starts, you got to think about this. Now people have heard of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, right? Maybe Jenny Mae, which backs your government securities.
Right.
But before, they were always there. People just didn't know they existed. Well, if you go back in time and you read, FDIC insurance came into place after the 20s crash, right? The run on the markets, the run on the banks, if
Right.
you remember all that stuff, or read about it, in case like I did.
Yeah, let's just say
everybody
read
here.
about it.
I think.
Well,
most
I mean,
people
there's
haven't lived
probably
through
a
it
few
now.
people, right, that can remember that. But when I came into this business, I was very young. I started on the mortgage side of the business, and I literally had a client come in and walk out of my office and say, "You can't help me with my mortgage. You're not old enough." And I said,
Wow.
I'm gonna learn a lot from this experience. I started to be hurt, and then I'm like, no, I'm gonna learn. So what I did was I went back and I read, and so I can tell you a ton about FDIC insurance, when Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac came into place, why they're there, why they exist, all this sort of stuff. So the bottom line is, when your loan is originated and it's sold on the secondary market, it passes in huge bundles of millions, if not billions of dollars. $200,000 through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac onto whoever your servicing lender is, which is who makes your payment. And so with that being said, there's a lot of logistics that go into that. And so, and I remember it as plain as day because I was writing loans back in that time. And I had a couple people come in and they say, well, I want to get qualified for this house. And I'd say, well, you don't qualify for that house. Well, I can go down the street and this bank said they'll give me a loan. I said, I'm sure they will. I said, but are they going to be there when you can't afford this loan? Because realistically, that's what you're looking at. And so I was the person that would not write those loans and ended up doing a ton of short sales on them. But ultimately, they started pushing all these, it wound up in the negative amortization loans where the values go up. But really, they started in the pick-a-pay, interest only, like all this stuff. And those loans were really meant for investors, right? That were buying a property with a tenant in it. And there might be a month where there's no tenant paying rent and you're not cash flowing that month. So you could make a very minimal payment, really not even enough to cover the interest. They were not meant for someone buying their primary residence that don't understand how any of that stuff works. And to basically go in there and, this is your house. They don't understand why the balance is going up or it's never going down. And so all those logistics play a part. And so that's what I mean by being smart with your money and really paying attention to the details. I'm like, can I afford this, right? Dave Ramsey teaches the 25% rule, right? So if your income is $2,500, it should be your mortgage payment. It should be 25% of that number.
Right.
And that gross income is okay. I think you're set up to be safe. But these banks started basically loosening the guidelines so that they could sell more mortgage-backed securities. And this greed started on Wall Street, right? Because they were making so much money passing these loans through the secondary market, really, through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So with that being said, they basically they loosened the guidelines so much that they didn't make sense. And I can remember having these conversations with underwriters saying, I can't believe I have to approve this loan right now. It's coming back, and if you've been around as long as I have and you hear that from an underwriter, if you didn't know what's going to happen, you should know at that time. And so I knew the market was going to crash, didn't know how much, how long, how hard. Nobody did. Nobody could have predicted that.
Right.
But there was a lot of it going on. And one of the clients that we helped, the guy was a cook at Denny's. I didn't originate any of the loans, but we cleaned up the mess. We short sold 5 properties. The guy didn't technically qualify for one.
Wow.
And he ended up owning 5 houses?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because he bought them on the neg-am, pick-a-pay, I'm going to state my income loans. Like, those are meant for self-employed people that write off a bunch of stuff, that have the option to not write off that stuff, but the income's there. They just weren't meant for your W-2 wage earner cook at Denny's.
Right.
And that's what happened. And so, it went, and you have any notes from the book that you remember that pops out of your head? It bled into the other markets.
Yeah, I mean, well, the whole the global economy is all linked together. Like right now, you can look at the price of cabinets has gone up by 40% under the threat of a China tariff. Not under the actual China tariffs, but just the threat of the tariff has increased cabinets by 40%.
So by the way, people are now speculating based on those comments that President Trump is making. I'm going to do tariffs on China. So they start investing in the market, and then he rolls them back and never actually does a lot of them. Just smaller ones, but not the big ones that would have the major impact. So they're speculating investments on statements that they're hoping will be rolled back now. That's what we're watching and seeing happen.
So that's the thing, like when you look at things like, the stock market, for me, it doesn't make sense to invest in the stock market because I feel like it's legalized gambling based on whatever politician says what, based on however that person runs their company, based on whoever they hire, for this publicly traded company.
Right.
Where real estate, you have full control over it. It's tangible. You can put your hands on it. You can go see it. It's a tangible asset that is never going to lose money.
And that's one of those things Dave Ramsey talks about is if you're going to have those rental property, have them in an area that you can drive by and see it. You may be able to get a great deal, but if you're, across the state, but if you're not going to be there and to keep an eye on the property, make sure that your tenants aren't running it into the ground.
So going back to what I said, I was going to give you a little tip on investment properties. So it's the rule of 1%. So if you buy a property for $200,000, your rent, you should be able to get $2,000 a month from that. So
Okay.
that's a good general rule of thumb to follow, and it's getting harder, right, to find that rule of 1%. But it'll settle down, right? With every market, it's going to shift. We'll have those normal little real estate cyclical dips, like I like to call it. It'll dip and it'll come back up. Long term, it's always a good investment.
Right. So don't look for a crash. Look for the dip.
Look for a dip.
Well, when we were
Yep.
in October of last year, you were saying there was going to be a correction in 2019, and that hasn't happened.
Well, they also dropped rates, which wasn't expected either. So you have to. There's so many things that play a part. You know, next year is an election year. That's definitely going to play a part. We see a lot of people that would buy investment properties actually not make a decision until after the election is over. And for what? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but some people have that opinion.
Interesting.
Well, because I don't know, maybe they want to see one party is more likely to keep rates low, and other one's likely to raise them, get more
Yeah.
money pumped into the government.
You know what? You have to, and I know Pat and I have talked about this many times. My first house ever, well, when I came into this market, when I was young, when I was 18, the rates for conventional money were over 12%. That's if you had perfect credit. And so, and we were cleaning up the balloons from the 80s, right?
Right.
Because I started on the lender side. So all the balloons were what we call popping, right? That was the crisis at that time. They wrote all these balloons in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. And so they were all coming due.
Right.
Around the time that I started, right? And so now people were basically, they couldn't refinance their house, or their credit wasn't good enough to, and now they had this balloon due, and they didn't even know what they were on.
Well, that's because they hadn't been paying it down in advance, knowing that it was coming, right?
Well, I mean, there's two rules to look at that, right? So a balloon means you're following your standard amortization schedule, but at some point in that schedule, usually about 15 or 20 years into it on a 30-year amortization, whatever that balance is on your AM schedule, you can follow that down. That's what your balance is. That's what's due whenever that note is due.
Right.
So it's not horrible, but if you know how to plan and prepare for that, you're good.
Right.
You can't chug along in a fog and act like everything's perfect and I don't know anything. That's what happens.
That's
People
what-
don't pay enough attention.
That's
20
actually,
seconds.
there's an article in the Wall Street Journal that Dave Ramsey was ranting about people going into debt so they can stay what is defined as middle class.
Yeah. Well, you're listening to Tampa Home Talk. We're going to have some more fun conversation when we come back right after the break. Our off-air number is 813-377-2775. 377-2775. We'll be back in a minute.
Welcome back to Tampa Home Talk. This is Adam Talley with Talley Insurance, joined by Leo Kane of Beryl Project Engineering and Hurricane Inspections.
I'm holding like $160 worth of home show tickets in my hand. Smash that like button. If you want one of these tickets, smash the like button, but understand
Share,
that
like,
if
subscribe.
you smash the like button, the video comes out after the home show's finished.
And I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. Thanks for sticking around. Leo is, in fact, holding a ton of tickets. Mark, we're going to give away some 4-packs. How many do we have here? Like another
four.
Four packs. See, we're able to come up here. All right, today is free, so you want to use these either Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and our studio call-in lines to win the tickets. 888-404-1010, 888-404-1010. One
Now
more
we have
time.
888-404-1010, and we have a great guest. But before we get to our guest,
You know what?
I want to hear some. You want to save the
I'll save the
hurricane
hurricane means for last
All
second.
right. So we're joined by Brian Santos, and he's the wall wizard,
Yes.
amongst many other things. So welcome to our show, and you're a wall wizard. So what does that mean?
So you're, first of all, you're in the corner,
Yes.
right back by where we're broadcasting right now. So he's like literally in the corner and
Up
the
against the
like
wall?
around 100
Yes.
aisle.
near the Trump room.
Yeah.
All the today.
Actually, it's the Wizards Workshop, which
Okay.
is my live tour that I travel all over the world, actually, to do live demonstrations on how to paint, faux finish, strip wallpaper. I'm a fourth-generation painting, wallpapering contractor.
So this is a homeowner DIY. Learn how. Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
And it's all based upon my 14 books that I've written for Better Homes and Gardens.
Wow,
14
14
14. You got some
books.
catching up to do.
I know
Leo.
I only got 3 books.
Yeah.
So are these real written or the ghost written?
No, they're real written.
All
And
right.
in fact, I even do the photography and a lot of the inside of the books, the mechanic we call the nuggets and so forth and so on. So I'm real hands-on with this.
How long
stuff.
have you guys been around?
I've actually been the wall wizard for almost 35 years.
Wow.
From the San Francisco Bay Area. I retired, actually moved here. I live here in Tampa, Florida.
Oh, I love it.
But I travel all over the world. I'm also the director of education for Fresh Coat Painters, which is a franchise where I teach over 2,200 painters on how to improve your life and home. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So what do you teach exactly? Like if someone's coming to the Florida Home Show and they're going to catch your show, which the first one, by the way, is at 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock.
Okay. How long is it? What are you going to be going over?
Well, the first show is called Painting Secrets. Everything you never knew about how to paint a whole room in 45 minutes or less. And I'm not kidding.
What?
In 60 minutes, I'm going to give you 60 tips on how to paint. And a couple of them would be like, for instance, what would you do with Pam?
Pam?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Spray it on-
Cook?
Yeah, they cook eggs. There you go. You spray it on your hands and your arms, and the paint won't stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Have you done that?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Science.
Yeah, but
Love it.
isn't your hand like all?
No, you put it on your
Slippery?
arm, and then we're going to wear gloves, and we're going to talk about which gloves and why. Here's another one. What would you do with chapstick?
Congratulations to our winner, Patty Houston.
Oh, thank you. Did you? Or was that live,
Sorry, I
Mark?
was
Was
saying
that
that
to
off
us?
the
Okay.
Patty Houston, you are the winner of 4 of these tickets in my hands.
Just one caller. That's all we had, Mark.
So far, yeah, it looks like we're getting close to 10 o'clock. Everyone's at work now.
Okay. Well, if you're listening, we still have tickets. Go ahead and call 888-404-1010. 888-404-1010.
Gotcha. Chapstick. What do you think?
I have no
You
idea.
use that instead of masking tape on the inside of glass, and that way when you paint, the paint doesn't go on the glass itself.
They need to eliminate people to come clean your windows.
Exactly.
Edging.
But there are a ton of things. Like, for instance, how about rubber cement? What would you use rubber cement?
Science project.
Yeah. Come on, Leo. You're the
No, I
scientist.
knew about the Pam, I knew about the chapstick. Rubber
He
cement.
stumped you on this one?
I think I might be stumped on the rubber cement.
Take a guess. What's your guess?
I'm just trying to think of the chemical properties of rubber cement, and I know.
Patch holes?
Nope.
Oh, paint thinner.
No. You know what we use it for? We use it over our hinges or any type of metal because it's liquid masking tape, and when it basically dries, it becomes a rubber, and you peel it off.
Oh.
There you go. Now, I have a teaching degree, a business degree, and a chemical engineering degree. So
right up your alley.
Are you walking around with the periodic table of elements like I am?
absolutely in my head.
In my wallet, because I'm also a chemical engineer.
This is going to be a
Nice.
fun 30 minutes.
If you thought Leo was excited about a hurricane, I've never
wait.
seen his face light up like this before. This was
It's rare to meet chemical engineers.
Yeah.
They're usually stuffed away on oil rigs or paper mill
Exactly.
plants.
No,
and here he is at the home show. Explaining Wall Wizard.
And that's part of it. I used to work with Sherman-Williams as a formulator, and so was a field testing engineer. And so that's part of my background and why they call me the Wall Wizard, is understanding the why behind the how-to is more powerful than the how-to.
Oh, man.
I need to steal that.
So
Understanding the why
how
behind
did you
the
get
how-to.
started in this? Like, how do you go from a chemical engineering degree to I'm going to be the wall wizard and show you to paint your house in 45
Great
minutes?
question. I had my own painting wallpapering company in the San Francisco Bay Area for many years and built a very successful business and really wanted to understand the reasons behind the magic of doing painting. I didn't even name myself the Wall Wizard. We'd finished this beautiful home. This woman came in and says, "Oh my goodness, this is amazing. You must be a Wall Wizard." And service mark, trademark, thank you very much. And now 35 years later, and I have my own line of tools and just a lot of different things. So I've really been blessed. And so I retired from that, came here to Tampa, and for the last 25 years, I've toured and lectured all over the world as the Wall Wizard. And again, for the last 5 years, I've been the Director of Education for Freshco Painters, which is a national franchise. And so, now I really get this opportunity to explain to the public the why, and also it's a highly interactive show. So it's not like a PowerPoint.
lecture, right?
Yeah, if you saw my set, you see it's pretty vibrant.
I took a peek. There's a lot of stuff going on.
So I
stuff.
can bring my bedroom wall in and we can paint it?
We could, but yeah, I don't think
There's
so.
some really cool vendors here, and like literally within an eyeball shot of where you are, there's the Murphy bed cabinet.
I love
people.
those Murphy cabinet
I'm gonna
thingies.
go
That
check
just
those
looks
out.
amazing.
Seriously, I've been doing home shows for almost 40 years. That's how I helped build my business. Our business was built before the internet. Now think about this. What were the powerful mediums back then? Yellow pages, which we don't even, we
Isn't
just
that
Google.
crazy? We threw them in the trash.
That's
one time.
right. And radio, and we did a lot of home shows, and we built our business from that. So I love the home show because it's the place you go to know about home improvement, and you have experts in their field, and you have to see, you can actually touch it, see it. It's not like buying something off of Amazon where you just sort of maybe think it's what it is. Here you can touch it, you can kick the tires, light the fires, and understand what it does and what it means in your life. And that's what really home shows, the power of a home show is.
So tell me, other than doing your demonstration, your presentation, are you selling like a kit of these tools?
No,
or what
actually,
is
I'm here strictly
Just
as
for
an
information?
entertainer. And now you can buy my books. I do have them here. And
Can we give away one on the air?
Yes, you can.
All right, which one do you have with you?
I have painting and wallpapering secrets.
All right, painting and wallpapering secrets.
Yep.
Call 888-404-1010.
We got our 4 winners.
First caller, all of our tickets are gone for the home show at this point. Come see us anyway. We'll be here all weekend, section 400. We're going to give away one of Brian's books now.
Yep.
What the name again was
Painting and wallpapering secrets from Brian Santos, the Wall Wizard.
All right, 888-404-1010. And what's one surprise they'll find in that book?
Oh, gosh, how to clean a paintbrush in 10 seconds or less.
So tell us.
I'll tell you, here it is. It's fabric softener. A half a cup of fabric softener in a gallon of water will clean any water-based paint in 10 seconds or less. We do that live on my set with
We have
yellow
one more
paint.
caller calling
and
in.
literally in 10 seconds, it is as clean. I have a brush up there that's over 15 years old. Looks brand new.
Oh, my
Wow.
gosh. Isn't that incredible?
Now you put on a show. So what are your show times this weekend so
Very
people
good.
know?
Yeah, it's at
Nice.
1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So
Okay. Every day?
Every day.
Every day. So you can't miss it. Come a little early. There's
I'm going to
a
have to come
pre-show.
to your 3 o'clock because I've got a 1 o'clock already.
Absolutely. No, it's again, this is where you come to learn, come to know, come to talk to the experts.
I'm excited about it. All right, so Mark, did you say we have someone that's called for the book?
Actually, we've given away 4 packages again. Patty Houston, Todd Sudman, Clarence Williams, and Antoinette Crichton. Congratulations and have fun at the Florida's largest home show. But we have one more caller that's on hold, and it's the fifth wheel. I don't know what to do with.
Book. We're gonna give them a book.
Don't forget,
Boom.
Mark. I need all their names so I can leave them at will call, okay? Because they're
Check
physically
your
here
text
with
messages, girl.
us. Okay, thank you.
We
Thank you.
have a book.
All right, so go ahead and patch our live caller through. Let's welcome them. We got a couple more minutes left. Hey, you're listening to Tampa Home Talk. Welcome to the show. Who we got?
All right, they're online.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, hi.
What's your name?
Yeah, Mike.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for listening. How's your morning going?
Very good. Very good. Going to work right now.
Yeah.
Are you looking for some tickets, or are you calling about Brian's book?
About the book. About the book, yeah.
Awesome.
The book
Well,
is
you
going
just
to be
won the
yours.
book.
Come visit us here at the Florida Home Show. And your name is Mike, you said?
Yes.
All right. I will have Mark Charles get your information, and we'll make sure we get you the book. Come see Brian, the Wall Wizard, in the corner here at the end of the 100-ish hall.
Yep.
We're going to make sure you get that book.
Yes.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Mike. Have a good weekend.
Sure. No problem. Thank you.
Come see us in the 400 hall as well. So we'll be hanging out. Would love to meet you guys. I'd love to meet you. I'll be the one with the bright hair in the booth. Look at the purple carpet. I'll be hard to miss. I'm the only redhead in the whole booth. So, you can just come up and say, "Hi, Katrina. I listened to your show." I'll say, "Awesome."
They'll hear your voice.
Yes.
That'll be the one.
Well, it's funny because in the radio world, like Shriner, never met him face to face until today. But he walks in and starts talking. I'm like, "Hi, Shriner. I'm Katrina." I already know, because you recognize the voices.
Familiarity, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just funny how in the radio world you just know people from hearing their voice for so long, even if you haven't met them. And we used to be in the Beasley studio every week, but now we're like in our own location, so we don't get to hang out with them.
I mean, being in the Trump room is pretty awesome, but I like our studio better.
It looks much less presidential than I had anticipated.
Yeah.
I do see well, I don't know the Republican and the Democrat colored masking tapes.
There's something for everybody. There's an actual leak in the ceiling. I can.
And don't miss
There's
the
a
fact
leak
that,
in the ceiling.
There's a mass
You guys
tape camera.
gotta hire
We
him.
had some
You guys have
synergy
some
here,
fun.
man. What can I tell you?
And don't forget, the home show is going to be open all weekend. Don't let Hurricane Dorian scare you away. We know you already got your stuff, and if you didn't, it's too late, so it doesn't matter. Just come on down to the home show, hang
nice
out
and
with
cool.
us.
I wish
You're
there were
going
some
to the
memes
Florida Georgia
for
line.
hurricanes. I wish there were
We
some memes.
got
for that.
'em.
You already got them?
So if you're going to the Florida Georgia Line concert, like Shriner said, come hang out with us.
Yes.
Until you go. All right, I got a ton of these, so we'll roll through as many as we can until the break, and then we'll continue with a few more. So first one that I had to put right on top. Floridians don't run from a hurricane. They run to a hurricane party. Now pour me a drink.
I like that one.
Ain't no party like a hurricane party. And of course, they have all the hurricane-shaped cakes already, like with the map that you see on the news, all that sort of stuff. All right, let me see what else I got. Everyone is gluten-free until the hurricane arrives. Empty shelves.
Nice.
Gotta love it. All right. See what happens when you name a hurricane after a man? He won't ask directions, wanders around lost, and leaves a mess and doesn't clean up after himself.
Are we talking about Michael
I'm not
here?
getting
possibly?
any.
Yeah, last year.
I'm not getting
yeah.
any pushback from my male counterparts on that.
No, it's
All
true.
right, I got a couple more. One more before the break. Oh, y'all running around town like a madman prepping for a storm, while my storm prep arrives Saturday morning via Amazon.
Also for Black Friday, you don't have to wait in line at the stores. Just order it online.
There you go.
We got some more hurricane memes coming right after this break. Make sure you come check out Brian Santos, the Wall Wizard. He's in the very corner, the 100
Wizard's
aisle-ish.
Workshop, yes.
He's going to go over the Wizard Workshop 1 and 3 o'clock, all 4 days of the show. Don't miss his show. He's going to show you how to clean a paintbrush in 10 seconds or left. And you can also pick up some of his books. He's written 14 of them. I don't think he has them all with him, but he's got a couple. So you're listening to Tampa Home Talk. Our off-air number is 813-377-2775. 813-377-2775. Stick around. We'll be back for more hurricane memes right after the break.
Well, good morning. Welcome back. This is Tampa Home Talk from the Tampa Home Show. We are to our final segment, and we've been here for 2 hours in the Trump room.
Almost 2 hours.
Almost 2 hours. It's very exciting. Leo Kane with Katrina Madewell and Adam Talley, and it's been a whirlwind show. We've had so many random guests. We've had
a lot of fun setting up.
people we haven't even seen ever in our lifetime that we talk to on a regular basis here on the show.
Cool.
We lost Pat
We
George.
got to meet Charlie Belcher this morning.
And we lost Pat George to a box of Dunkin' Donuts. And
That's a typical Friday morning, though.
Yeah.
That's not new for the home show.
Nothing new. Ready for some more hurricane memes?
Yeah, do we want to do hurricane memes or some hurricane stories, or what do we want to do?
I'll throw a couple memes in there.
All right, go for the
All
memes.
right.
Pick some good ones.
Waiting on a hurricane is like being stalked by a turtle. Come on.
you can lose a finger of the turtle.
Wah, wah, wah.
Stop making fun of my spirit animals.
All right, so today I did solid storm prep. It's going to be raining for 2 days straight, so we cut the grass knowing it's going to be a forest by the time the storm moves out of Florida. Prepared for 2019.
Oh, I'm washing my car this weekend to guarantee the storm comes to Tampa.
I saw that one too. Listening to meteorologists predict what's going to happen with a hurricane 5 days out is like looking up your symptoms on WebMD.
I like that.
Could be nothing, might kill you.
I like
Might
that
could
one.
kill you. Oh my gosh. So also, you know what? I'm going to give a little shout out. He's not here, but Renee Ayala, Daylight Concepts.
Oh, yeah.
He is here at the home show as well.
Oh, awesome.
And guess what? I had 2 solar attic fans installed in my house and one of the daylight things in the kitchen. And,
Your bill went down by?
well, it's going to take 2 months, right,
Oh,
to
yeah.
figure that out?
Yeah.
It's going to be, I'll let you know in 2 months how that goes. I don't notice anything yet.
We'll
but
do a
in 2 months.
November checkup.
Yeah.
We'll do a November checkup.
So-
we'll have to bring in your electric bills. What I like about the electric bills is they give you a 12-month history.
Yes.
So we can compare your 12-month average, rolling average, to your 12-month new rolling average, and then a month-to-month
Yes.
comparison.
So remember, the week
Well-
before Labor Day, I had to put in.
Well, and then we also need to account for potential, power outage
Oh, yeah.
Wednesday
So,
through Friday.
One
Possibly.
more thing. So the solar lamps, right? I had this put in the solar light from the sky. So in my other room, it's always been kind of dark. We wanted to add like a fan or a light. We weren't sure. We're going to have one installed with Renee, and we're going to be one of his beta testers because this one's going to have a dimmer. It's not yet on the market. So we're going to get to beta test it and share how it goes and all that sort of stuff. So how many vendors would you say are on there? There are so many vendors. I can't even.
Couple hundred.
There's so many people coming. Okay, more memes. I got a couple more.
Memes, do you have a
time.
hurricane story?
There's 140. There's 157 on this list.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got? You got a story there?
But I got nothing but hurricane stories. You
Come
want
on.
first responder stories. You want post-storm stories. You
The
want
best one.
Well, the best one was when I actually had a cadaver dog for Hurricane Ike
Uh-oh.
as a first responder, because unfortunately people did get flooded to the point where they couldn't leave their homes, but the dog itself was awesome. Imagine just getting gifted a dog that's perfectly trained. It'll be the best dog you've ever had in your life. He's your companion. He's your pillow. You get him for a week.
Wow. And they didn't give you like a handler with them? It was just, here you go, have fun? Or
Pretty much.
you got the wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Surprising, really.
That is really surprising.
I had a
training.
very, very, very short time with the dog, but it was sparky.
So how's it looking out there, Pat? He's rolling back in for the last, couple, 2-3 minutes. We don't have much time left. We've been here with you guys already for 2 hours.
I know.
Broadcasting live at the Florida State Fairgrounds, Florida's largest home show. And we are super excited that you're going to come with us.
You cannot believe how tired I am. I just got out of the spa, the swimming spa. I didn't get a chance to go exercise this morning, so that's why I'm dripping wet right now. You thought this was sweat? No, I was in the spa. It is so much fun out there. And
He's so dramatic.
the vendors are all coming here, getting ready. You come in the front door right off 301, and you walk right in. You'll see the big, thick, they have a beautiful carpet. It says Florida Home Show. Grab the program that we have in our hand and enjoy the 300 or so exhibitors.
And if you're going out to see Florida Georgia Line,
Can't
come visit
exercise this
us.
hard.
Visit us before you go to the concert tonight.
Yeah.
We're
What
here
concert?
from 11 to 6.
There's a
Florida
concert.
Georgia Line is tonight.
Where?
Right there.
No! Tell me that's not true.
Yes.
There's another. We had a concert last
I
night.
know.
And it was crazy.
Who was that, by the way?
Beck
I know it
and
was
Weezer?
busy.
Beck and Weezer. Was it? Yeah.
think it was.
Who is
It
that?
was,
Is
who's
that-
the elephant? There was
No, Cage the Elephant. Beck
Cage
and-
the
Beck
Elephant.
and Cage, or was it Weezer and Cage the Elephant?
No, it was Beck and Cage the
Beck
Elephant.
and Cage the Elephant.
And it was, it was a great crowd. But for Florida Georgia Line,
It's going to be packed.
right? I don't know how many
I'm
people.
thinking
from-
about hanging out right here, like afterward,
And
to
then sneaking
listen.
in?
I don't know how many people are going to come down from Georgia over the Florida line because of this hurricane, though.
Better off staying put.
I think you
Hunkering
missed
down.
all
We
my
have not
hurricane
used the word
memes.
hunkering down at all.
Hunker. Oh, gotta use it.
And we might have a minute. So if you got a good hurricane meme I didn't go over, call in real quick. 888-404-1010. We
Did
might
you
have
guys
time
talk
for one.
about you talked about the spaghetti all over Florida?
Yeah.
The Spaghetti Monster?
Yeah, no,
888-404-1010.
Yeah, that was a good
Yeah.
one.
So
man.
it's still unbelievable to me that you can buy the cakes with the shape of Florida and the hurricane little map, like you see on the news. Pretty crazy.
creative.
That's
I
how
like
we
the-
roll, though.
And it's a chocolate chip cookie that's got fondant on it.
Oh, a cookie cake.
It's, no. Basically, the cake is a cake, but the hurricane
is a cookie on. Ooh, okay. Now you're cooking. That's some good stuff right there.
Should be a donut.
Yeah.
Replicate the eye.
Maybe.
So you guys are going to have to come back. You can't make me hang out at the home show by myself all weekend.
have Pat.
And not
There's no
visit.
better company
Well,
than
you know
Pat.
some of our listeners are going to be looking for you guys. So you
I'll
have
leave
to
some
come
business
back.
cards in the booth.
That's not the same as meeting
Yeah, when you
Leo.
do come out, all you have to do is come back where the Wizard's workshop is, the Wall Wizard, and that's where
He was cool, by the way. We
Pat
gave away
George,
one
you
of his
missed it.
books.
He got stumped in trivia
I
on
got
air.
jumped in trivia for the first time on live air.
Well, he's the guy. He's the expert. He's been
He asked
doing
me
shows
3
all over.
questions. I got
He's
2 out of
the
3.
expert. Wow.
Yeah, he is the expert.
I can't wait to see his show at 1 o'clock.
He's a
written
chemical engineer like
14
Leo.
Books.
Oh, yeah.
14.
I've only written 3. He's
Like
written 14.
Dr. Leo.
Right. Did he talk about the 10 seconds of cleaning a paintbrush?
Yes,
Yes.
he did. And he gave a
With
secret
fabric
on the air.
softener.
Oh, see, he hasn't. He said you have to come to my show at 1 o'clock
No,
today.
we got him to tell on the air.
Yeah, it's fabric softener.
Snoffiner.
Snoffiner?
Yeah, fabric
I'm going
softener.
to still watch the show.
We've had
Under
so
1
much
minute.
fun hanging out with you guys today. Our
What do you
off-air
mean? The
number,
fun just starts now.
our off-air number, 813-377-2775. Call or text us, 813-377-2775. Don't be a stranger. Come by the home show. It's free today if you didn't
Starts
win
at 1
tickets.
hour.
It will be open up at 11 and ready for you. We're going to have water at our booth and so many prizes. We're giving away a Yeti hall cooler.
You got great
And a ring door
prizes.
system.
You really do.
Come
I don't know
visit
where
us.
you get all this money to buy these prizes.
30 seconds.
We have amazing sponsors that help, and
Oh,
we
and our
love
show's
you
coming
guys.
to a
Spin the
close.
and on your prize wheel. You have a prize wheel. Every spin wins.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
We're
Katrina,
gonna
really
win something.
quick before we go. For the record, I had it ready to go.
Oh. That's a doorbell. That's a doorbell for the home show.
That's
they're starting
right.
to come in. No, they're at the door already.
I haven't
We'll be
heard
here
that
11.
doorbell in over
10
a year.
seconds.
Visit us
10
in the
seconds.
400 booth. We will be back same time, same place next week, no matter what Dorian does. So stick around. But for this
Be
week,
safe.
we're out.
seconds.
Love where you live, and we'll fix it.
Smash the like button.